Hello, everyone.
Welcome to the Queers of Time podcast.
I'm Matt.
I'm James.
I'm Kenny.
And I'm Kat.
And this is a podcast to talk about all the gay stuff in the Wheel of Time.
Because we're gay and we like the Wheel of Time.
We'd like to start with a shout out to our newest patron on Patreon, Jess. And as always, we want to give a special shout out to our feral venerator of Soirain, Lurks. In this episode, we're going to be discussing poly relationships and non-monogamy in both the Wheel of Time books and show. Non-monogamy isn't something that's widely seen in popular fiction, and the Wheel of Time was a lot of people's first exposures to poly relationships in fantasy.
However, there are some areas in which the books took a very specific view of polyamorous relationships, and by specific, we mean male fantasy, just to be clear, which is something that we at the Queers of Time podcast wanted to discuss. We're going to talk about what we see in the books, what the show is doing, and what we hope that they do in future seasons.
And unfortunately, Camille couldn't be here for this episode. They have a sapphic illness, and unfortunately, it's going to keep them from being with us today. But we do have a special guest with us, and we wanted to bring in someone who can speak more towards the poly experience. You might know him from being horny on Twitter or slapping down racists in his spare time. Please give the Queers of Time welcome to Will Alcine.
Hey there, guys.
Yay!
You know, Camille never makes use of this, so I'm actually going to...
What?
Oh!
Wow.
Has it always existed?
Wow.
Oh, no, there's a whole bunch of things.
Oh
this
my
is what...
god!
Oh, wow.
Camille is normally the person behind the screen on this, so yeah, there's laughing, there's drum rolls, drum joke. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We're gonna make some good use of this.
Oh boy.
They are going to murder you.
I was just gonna say.
I say you and not us because I'm going to throw you under the bus.
That's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine.
I was going to say there might be a couple spots opening up because Camille is going to commit some murders. So let us know.
Camille has threatened to fly over to the U.S. just to hurt people. When we had Allie as a guest, they threatened to murder us if we did any spoilers or anything.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Which is fair. I mean.
Well, to that point, we're full spoilers here, right? We can talk about everything.
Absolutely.
So, okay,
yes.
great.
Most of our episodes are full spoilers.
Okay,
it's
great.
just sometimes we can't be.
Right. I understand that totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to get things started out, we wanted to kind of go through the definition of polyamory and how it differs from polygamy, which is mostly what we see in the series, even though they aren't necessarily married. It's still very much one man, multiple woman relationship. So monogamy is kind of just the traditional having one romantic and sexual partner. Polyamory is consensual non-monogamy, just meaning that all of the parties are aware that the relationship isn't monogamous and consent to it. There are lots of different types of polyamorous relationships: triads, quads, polycules. There's hierarchical, non-hierarchical, kitchen table, which I just think is fun to say.
Ooh.
And then mono-poly relationships.
That is fun to say.
It is fun to say. Kitchen table polyamory.
Huh.
And then open relationships are a type of polyamory, but they're often they're relationships where there's one single romantic partner, but then multiple sexual partners. And then when we get to Rand Althor, we have polygamy, which is just one person having multiple wives or spouses. A man having multiple wives is polygyny, and a woman, which is very rare, having multiple husbands, is polyandry. So, yeah, most of those relationships for polygamy are largely heterosexual, just because gay people know better. But from just to throw it out there, for the perspective I'll be speaking on today, I am in an open relationship, so I have a single romantic partner, but I have multiple sexual partners. So. That is the viewpoint I am coming from.
Fair enough. I identify as polyamorous. So
yeah.
I am single and monogamous. Monogamous in theory, single in reality.
Aw.
Wow.
I mean, honestly, it's fine because
Yeah.
I'm like a cat. Would I like a romantic relationship? Maybe, but also when I see people being lovey-dovey, I'm like, no. I need my space. Give me space. You can like give me a kitty treat or like a cracker like once every few hours, and then you leave the room, and then you can come back for an ear stretch, and then you leave the room again, and I just keep to my own space. That's me.
It is shocking how similar you and my partner are in personality, because I think I am the exception. So I am in a relationship, in a monogamous relationship. But what you described, Matt, is very much my partner. They have a limited group of people that they sort of, allow into the inner sanctum, and that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like my space, but I also like to share my space with people.
Yeah,
so.
Me too.
Well, you're just a whore.
Me too.
Again, we've talked about this. I'm a slut. I don't currently get paid for it.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with being a slut,
That's right.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. I just want him to get his terminology correct.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's
this is
fair.
the thing. Yeah.
Or a whore for that respect, yes.
Well, where I come from, we'd call you a lady of the night.
I'm down with that. I'm down with being Dark Lady.
Yeah.
Laugh and dance and...
Oh, can you say Lady of the Night again, Matt?
Lady of the Night?
No, not like that. Say it the right way.
Lady of the Night?
With the twang, with the southern. Say it southern.
This isn't something that I'm not a dog. You can't just tell me to roll over and play dead.
I summon thee, Southern Belle, Matt.
No.
I just like it when you go all Southern Belle. That's all.
It's not something that can be done on command. It's,
Okay.
Wow.
That's
I know.
fair.
I'm a cat.
Matt's being very shy today, y'all.
Not a dog.
And to be fair, we did just talk about how much of a cat you are. So
This is true.
Exactly. Welcome to the podcast. Well, this is basically everything. This is what we do. But we actually do we do have stuff to talk about, believe it or not.
Yes, we do.
We have examples from the books, actually, and I can cover the first one, and James and Kat can cover the next one. But Rand, despite in past episodes I've claimed that Rand needs to be in a three-way relationship with Asmodean and Min and Logain, unfortunately we don't have that in the books because Robert Jordan was cool but not that cool. Instead we have Rand and Min, Aviendha, and Elaine. They're very polyamorous even though they're not actually married. And
they're polygamous, even though they're not actually married.
Yeah, polygamous. Polygamous.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Polygamous, though in a very fantasy way, not in the Mormon bigamy type of way. And there's, I would say that there is consent, but it's not enthusiastic. It's more of just a reluctant consent because Rand is the chosen one, and there is a funny scene in the books where, and I can't remember for the life of me what book it's in, but the three women are like, okay, well, you're getting the dragon dick and so am I, and we could fight about it, but instead we're just going to like corner him and tell him that we're going to share him and it's not really his choice, which, the lack of consent on Rand's part, I mean, it's not like he was sad about it, but like there is a bit of a lack of consent that is probably not as cool today as it was. I mean, I get that Robert Jordan was going for the women have the power in this dynamic.
I think also, like, if I remember correctly, I think that actually happened to Robert Jordan, that situation.
Oh.
Yeah, Robert Jordan was once in a relationship with two women at the same time where he, they kind of determined his schedule and who was seeing him or who... Oh my God, Kat's face right now. I swear we've talked about this. We have definitely talked about this.
What?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sorry. I think I would have remembered this.
Okay. So yes, Robert Jordan was once in a relationship with two women and they kind of, it wasn't Harriet. It was pre-Harriet, but it was, they kind of like shared him and he had his schedule made by them. And
so much about these fucking books makes sense now. So much makes sense. Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, no. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I always got the like male fantasy bit. I'm like, you were like, Robert Jordan said, I can do 2, but what about 3?
Have you considered 3?
Yeah, so I mean, I appreciate the attempt. And I like it. I mean, it was very groundbreaking for what it was when it was, but at the same time, it does feel very they don't have relationships with each other, even though they kind of do, but not really. I don't know. Will, what do you think?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think, I appreciate the attempt. I appreciate the representation, I suppose, maybe, albeit bad.
That's kind of how we do things here. We're like, thank you, and...
Yeah. But, I think that one of the things that I find interesting about it is like Rand is kind of reluctant about it and feels like bad about it, right? And I think that in some ways that's a balancing effect, in so much as like you can't do it the way he did it. Robert Jordan can't write it the way he wrote it and then Rand be like super fucking happy about this, like super excited. That's just not going to work, So I think he was trying to find that balance, although he still kind of just approached it kind of from a weird way. But yeah.
I mean, it was very like Emmons Field was so puritanical.
Oh my gosh.
The idea of like talking about sex at all was weird. So the idea of one man with 3 women, he was like, it wasn't excitement, it was fear.
Yeah.
And I mean, which is mentioned several times in the series. You must be mad to have 3 women, blah, blah.
The scene where Nynaeve absolutely loses her mind when she finds out about it is maybe, it's maybe one of my favorites because it's just so chaotic and and so, it's silly because like at this was like later in the series too, I think, right? It
was at least book 7 or 8 or something
like that. Yeah,
either 7 or 8, somewhere around there. And so like this is like Nynaeve's been out in the world.
It's been happening and Nynaeve is just catching up and she's like, hold the fucking minute.
Wait a minute.
It's very like, hold my earrings.
Yes. Yeah.
I need to go yell at this boy. I don't give a fuck who he is.
Which, to be fair, is a lot of Nynaeve's best moments in the show, where she finds out something that everybody's been knowing for like ages and loses her shit over it, which is part of why we love her.
Yes. Well, yeah.
She's a little slow to react, but she still reacts.
She still reacts, yeah. And when she reacts, you best believe it's going to be a real big reaction.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
So aside from Rand and then his lovers in the books, we have the Aiel, which we kind of get a little bit of their culture, but you don't see too many of the specifics with it. There's one man with multiple wives. We don't ever really see the reverse.
No.
And then they have like sister wives or is that what they call? No.
First sisters.
Yeah, but I think however it works out there, again, it revolves around the man.
Yes.
Even though the women have power, it still revolves around the man. So, and then you have kind of the quasi representation of Gaul, Bane, and Chiad, where Gaul wants to be with one of them, and then the other one is going to have to come along.
She's along for the ride.
And that's Gaul's battle.
Yeah.
Like, it's just weird.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's okay.
Yeah. It's unfortunate because I feel like and we'll get to the third, I think, in a minute, but like it feels like all of them are almost there. Like there are parts of it that are really compelling about them, but there's always something that's not quite there yet.
Right.
It just keeps missing. Like I think the Green Asha comes the closest, and I think we kind of touch on this a little bit later, but it is interesting because it's obvious that Robert Jordan made an attempt and he wanted to do something. He was trying something, and it was obvious that this was a genuine effort on his part, but you can tell that like it's very, very much male centered still. Like the women in it are kind of just along for the ride.
And we've talked about it a little bit before about like when this was written and how access to information wasn't as prevalent. So like it's not like he could just go on Reddit and be like, how polys work.
Yeah.
It's not that you should ever go to Reddit and ask. I don't know. I don't know what poly Reddit is like, but I get that the access to information wasn't as great, but I do appreciate the attempt that was made. Anyone have any thoughts on the Aiel? Because they're not one of my favorite cultures.
I know.
It boils down to most of my thoughts on Robert Jordan's attempts with more diverse characters, and that is an attempt was made. An attempt was made.
Very much. Yeah, he did his best.
Yeah, he did his best.
He did, yeah. Bless his heart.
I was going to say, I'm like, Matt, we're going to have a bless his heart moment here soon. But yeah, no, Kat, you kind of touched on the Green Aja, which I think is probably one of the healthier depictions of polyamorous relationships in the series. Even though they're kind of like the men in the relationships are pretty much serving the women. Like it's all consensual and it's all, they're all pretty on board with it.
Hey, so during the post-production of this episode, we noticed that when talking about polyamory within the Green Aja, we forgot to mention that not all of those relationships were fully consensual. For example, in A Crown of Swords, it's implied that Muriel used the bond to compel Lan to have sex with her as a way to keep him alive. The lack of consent there is definitely icky, so we thought this oversight of us deserved a disclaimer. Sorry about that. We'll be more mindful in the future. It seems like there's more, even though the warders are like very much there to serve the Aes Sedai, but it seems more like there's more equality. Like it seems like they're almost like on what is it, James?
I was going to say, they're there to serve and to service.
Oh, God. I knew it. Yes, they're there to serve and to service the Aes Sedai. But it does feel like they're on a little bit more equal footing, at least romantically. Like if that makes sense. Like there isn't that sort of, I don't know, with Rand and Min and Elaine, there always felt like there was this lack of consent with it, which there is kind of like it's, there kind of is, but with the Green Aja, this is a choice that they make. Like they choose this.
Right. Like no one's forced into the bond except for, Alana forcing people. But I mean, even like for the most part, warders choose what they're getting into. And I can't think like a Green Aja would bond someone and then be like, by the way, you're also going to bang me whenever I want.
Right.
Like, it's not sign this contract and then I'll tell you the fine print.
We definitely got better representation. Well, I can't speak for representation not being poly, but to me it seems that we got better representation in the show with Alana, Yvonne, and Maxim in that scene.
Yeah. We're going to touch on the show in a bit, but well, that's the next section. But I mean, the only thing I wanted to say about the Green Aja is like, it doesn't seem as scandalous as it should. Like, given everything else, given how everybody reacts to Rand being with 3 women and the Aiel culture, people are just like, oh yeah, the Greens have a bunch of orders and they fuck them. And it's somewhat scandalous, but it's never like a huge deal. Like there's never a Nynaeve reckoning moment where she like grabs one of them by the ears and says, no, one man, one dick.
One dick, one pussy.
One dick, one pussy. That's it.
That's it.
I feel like, one of the relationships that in the books I enjoyed existing, even though it's not super well explored, is Morella's relationship with her warders. Because it feels so, it feels like a balancing act. It feels like the infamous Robert Jordan balancing act, in so much as, okay, this is a largely polyandrous relationship, right? So like she's married to like the last book, she has 6 warders, I think, and she's married to at least half of them.
Yeah.
So that one, I was like appreciated the fact that existed, even though obviously we don't really see what that looks like. So not to jump ahead, but I like that they kind of expand on all of that once we get into the TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm very excited.
Yeah.
I hope Morella's.
I really hope we get her.
Yeah.
You mean you're hoping we get her and not the 16S name Aes Sedai's with
Look, if Rafe does that, we all know like what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
We're all going to lose our minds and kind of love it, but also hate it a lot.
But also hate it a lot because
it'll be the "you had one job" moment.
Yeah. You had one job.
You had one job, Rafe.
You had one job, Rafe. That's it.
It wasn't any of the other great things that you did. It was to not have all of these fucking S names.
Not this, Rafe.
Not like this.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I get that it's really just a tower thing. Like, the common people I don't think they necessarily know that all of the Green Aja have multiple warders.
Right.
And it doesn't feel like something like the common folk are like discussing.
No.
Like in taverns.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just talking about being like one of the mythical warders or something. They're not like warder and puss.
Right.
Every time James says puss, I lose a bit of my spirit.
That soul leaves his body.
I don't know why you're being so terrible right now.
Anyways, we're already trending towards a TV show, so we might as well go to that.
Because this is where the good stuff is.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I am so excited to see what they do. Like, can we just talk a little bit about like Alana, Maxim, and Yvonne?
Yeah.
And just how wonderful they were.
I love them so much.
Mm-hmm.
And how, once again, Nynaeve is just totally
bamboozled.
Yeah.
But what I do appreciate is that it's not in a like, no, you can't. Only one man, one woman way. It's very much like, I didn't realize this was a possibility. Interesting. Okay. And then she just moves along. And she looks kind of like delighted, like surprised, but also a little delighted by it, kind of, which is nice.
Yeah.
She's high on those land pheromones, is what she is.
She's high on Land's musk. That's what's happening.
What the fuck?
She want to give her some of that Daniel Hennedy.
I hate the word musk so much.
You know what? That's going to be the episode title, James.
No, I will not type that.
Eldritch Musk has ruined the word for everybody.
What?
Eldritch Musk.
I called Elon Musk Eldritch because he's not a human. He's an Eldritch abomination, and not in the good way.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It sounds too cool for him, though.
Yeah, it sounds way too cool. I thought it was like a kink I don't know about yet.
Oh, I see.
I feel like Eldritch Musk would be like the cloud that surrounds Peyton Fane by the end of the series, right?
Yeah, it's true.
It's Eldritch Musk.
That's accurate.
Anyways, more important things.
We were talking about Alana and
Aes Sedai.
Oh,
Aes Sedai?
Yes.
That one's new.
It is new.
I don't know how I feel about Aes Sedai.
I don't think we've done that one yet.
No, that shouldn't be done.
No.
I mean, Matt sees everything.
Here we are, though.
The natural destination.
This is what happens when Camille is missing, by the way.
Look, we are on track for time.
We are.
Like, I'm just saying.
That's true.
Camille, maybe you're the problem.
Oh. Wow.
Am I recording this while doing the post-production of this episode? Yes. Do I have any shame? No. So, dear James, you all have left the main topic more than 5 minutes ago, during which you all have talked an uncomfortable amount of time about Elon freaking Musk and Aes Sedai or whatever the new UCO that Matt has invented. Listener will be spared of a lot of this, thankfully. Honey, I don't think I'm the problem here.
So, everyone, all of our listeners, I just want to take this moment, this time, just to really give a shout out to James and just their contributions to this podcast. They will be deeply missed, and we will be opening applications for a new host. Thank you so much.
Yeah, ideally, if you're good at graphic design and can also be super slutty, so Matt is uncomfortable.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
And we'll take a moment of silence for all of James's contributions to society. 1 second for every contribution. Moving on.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you for that. So kind.
Oh my god. Alana, Maxim, Ivan.
I remember one of the first AMA, it wasn't an AMA, it was on Twitter. But when Rafe first started answering questions about the series, someone asked just straight up, hey, are we going to see the relationship with Rand, Min, Egwene, and Avienda be the same? And he just said no.
Yeah.
And then everyone was like raging at him, like thinking that it would be, he's going to cut someone. Like there was the whole thing where there wasn't going to be Min for the longest time.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
And then they were thinking he would just like make it with one person. And this is all in the span of like a day.
Yeah.
Yes.
16 hours.
Yeah. He clarified pretty quickly.
People collectively lost their minds in those 16 hours.
Yeah, it was a lot of like, it was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he clarified and he said, let's just say I'm much more interested in polyamory than polygamy. And maybe give me a little credit for assuming I'm just going to cut that entire story and ruin everything.
Seriously.
Yeah. Which, like, good for him. Good for him,
seriously.
honestly, because...
That's when I first started seeing, like, bitchy Rafe. Because I was really down, like...
Yeah.
I just really enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, there's also that other one later when he was like, every time a homophobe says something, I'm going to make people gay. Perrin and Master Luhan are now fucking. Or something like that. I can't remember what it was, who it was, but...
All I gotta say is put your money where your mouth is, because I didn't see no Matt making out with no man in this season.
Okay.
Make it happen.
And now it's the part where I don't make a joke about where Rafe can put his mouth. Is that correct?
James...
Okay, look, I'm trying to take pointers here. I'm trying to learn and grow as a human being.
It doesn't count if you still say it.
I didn't say it, though.
We save the nasty comments for fictional characters, not real people. It's bad. Very naughty. You don't do that.
No, James is gonna like that.
I know we have feelings and you have to express them, but you have to save it for the fictional characters.
No, that doesn't sound right.
That sounds fake.
Well, I tried my teacher voice and it didn't work.
Yeah, that just turned me on.
I was going to say, Matt, the look of disgust.
I love how disgusted I can make you, Matt.
Oh.
Well.
No, I mean, for the quad for Rand, Min, Avienda, and Elaine, I'm like, I am somewhat nervous about how they're going to do it in the show, but... I also trust Rafe like a whole bunch at this point.
Yeah.
Like given how he depicted Alana, Maxim, and Yvonne in season 1, I can't imagine him fucking it up terribly.
Yeah, I think like that the way that was depicted, it was depicted so delicately. It was never, actually like touched upon. It was very obvious what was going on and what the dynamic in the relationship was. That was really kind of heartening and great to see, because you don't normally see that. And when any polyamorous relationship is depicted in normal media, you don't see like necessarily, you don't always see, you generally don't see a lot of polyamory, but you definitely don't see two guys and one woman. And even then, you're not going to see two guys who are with one another as well. You're not going to see a full triad situation in that respect. So it was really nice to see that.
Yeah. I mean, that's something we haven't really touched on, because I mean, I don't see much polyamory in media really. So I'm also not like necessarily looking for it, but Will, what has your kind of exposure been to polyamory in media and how people are typically represented in poly relationships? Can you think of any like decent examples?
I feel like, I actually didn't finish the show, but a lot of people have told me that Sense8 has really interesting polyamorous representation. But again, I watched like 2 episodes and didn't finish the show. So I can't really speak, I can't say exactly what that is, but I've heard it's pretty positive.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch the show? Or
I did watch Sense8.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to think if there's a specific poly relationship or if they're just all kind of like they share I don't know, not a consciousness, but they can share like experiences. So when one of them's having sex, like all of them are having sex. Okay. And there is one scene that is super fucking hot in season 1 that is just like,
oh yes.
All right, maybe I should watch this. Okay.
Yeah, it's good. Like, I mean,
it's good.
I would say, like, give it a shot. It's
okay.
It's good.
Yeah, it's worth it for that scene alone.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's so it doesn't really, you don't really get the full effect of it until season 2. But there are 2, I'll call them queer men, and then one woman who, like, so they are romantically together, and then they have very much a platonic relationship with her, and so like they're like very much in a relationship, but between her and them there isn't really a sexual component to it. And so, and I just thought it was just really well done. Like they showed different sort of types of it. Yeah, it's I highly recommend Sense8. I will never be over it being canceled because I feel like there was so much more they could have done with it. And it's Netflix. Once again, Netflix is my...
Yeah, Netflix is... They're pissing me off, man.
They're making some choices.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it had like... It was a super fucking expensive TV show to make just because of all of the filming locations and stuff. But it was really good.
It was really good. Yeah.
I think there's another show I saw, I feel like during the pandemic. It's called Trigonometry. That was I think it was a British show. And that's about a triad.
It sounds like it was such a smart name.
That's high school math.
Look, I was out when you started introducing shapes. That's when I pieced out of math. I said, I don't need to know how big this circle is. Thank you.
The only shape James is interested is in dick shape, and that's basically it.
That was not one of your better ones, Matt. You can go back to the drawing board.
It doesn't need to be funny if it's true.
I think Matt gagged him a little bit. I think you're a little bit gagged there.
Gagged.
Oh God.
Sorry. Go on about.
Oh yes, trigonometry.
Oh yes, yeah, right. So yeah, I thought it was like it's a pretty good show. I think it depicts a couple who open up and they bring one other person into their relationship. So I think it's interesting to kind of see, as James broke down at the beginning of the episode, there are different types of poly relationships, right? Mm-hmm. So it's interesting to see that particular dynamic be played out. And there is a relationship between this new person and both of the partners. So you kind of see how that works out.
Okay.
I think I had some other issues. Like, for example, it is like one man and 2 women. So that's one thing that, like I was saying before, like that's what you usually see. But overall, I think it was a pretty decent show in terms of poly representation.
I don't know, maybe we should use this because we are doing really well on episode length so far. Mm-hmm. Maybe we should use this as a time to talk about the different types of polyamory.
Okay.
Just like give a lesson.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I had to do a little bit of research because I just know about like being a slut and sucking dick. Like that's what I know. So every time Matt has to like sigh and be like, why do they keep letting you exist, James? It just brings a little bit of joy to my soul.
Mm-hmm.
Really, you have one?
I do have a soul. You should know that I have a soul.
You got something, that's for sure.
Oh my God. You're so cruel.
I promise we actually do like each other. I know it doesn't seem like it always, right?
Oh no, I can tell.
Is that true?
I like you, Kat, and I like you, Will.
Aww.
I was waiting for it. I'm like, we're gonna get there. Give it a second.
Mm-hmm.
No. But yeah, no, I mean, with polyamorous relationships, like, there are so many different kinds. There's, I mean, for my edification, like, triads and quads, is that just the number of people in a relationship pretty much? Or
not necessarily.
Is there more to it? Okay.
Not necessarily. So for example, you could have 3 people in a relationship versus quote unquote in a relationship. So so you could have, like, if you have one person who's dating 2 different people, that's still 3 people. But that one person, if those 2 people are not dating one another, then that would be a hinge partner and they would have 2 partners, right? Because they're the hinge in that relationship. Or you could have a triad, which is all 3 people dating each other person, right? So there are lines connecting each point. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
No, that totally makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, and then I think I've heard the term V for that. Just
yes, exactly. That would be V would be the first thing described.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's one person going to 2 different people.
Mm-hmm.
Then what else did I have on the list here? There was Oh, so hierarchical and non-hierarchical. Will, do you want to take this? Because I'm going to get it wrong.
This is hierarchical versus non-hierarchical. So some polyamorous people will practice hierarchical polyamory, which is where you have a primary partner or multiple primary partners with whom you share equitable, deep relationships, not equal but equitable, right? And then you would have perhaps other relationships who are people you still care about, but those relationships aren't valued as highly or aren't considered as high on the scale, I suppose. And I want to say I'm in no way an authority on this. Like, I don't want people to be like, this is wrong or whatever. Like, I'm not some sort of guru, whatever. Yeah.
No, we are the authority on gayness. We are the authority on polyamory. Like, that's just how this works.
Right.
You're speaking for all poly people.
I speak for all sapphics, you know.
But and so if you're non-hierarchical, then you would consider all of your relationships to be equitable.
Okay.
And you can kind of, I think something that I really find interesting and really freeing about polyamory is that you have the ability to choose what your relationships look like. You can decide like, this is the kind of relationship I would like to have with you. And you can say that to someone and then they can say yes or no, or well, how about this? And you can say, okay, great. This is what our relationship is going to be. And you can do that with multiple people, obviously everyone should know what's happening. But I think that's a really cool thing about that.
Yeah, I think that's kind of one of the communication is obviously going to be key to any relationship, but especially for any kind of non-monogamous relationship, because otherwise it's just cheating on people. So, and not every person in the polyamorous relationship needs to know necessarily everything about every other relationship you have, but there's definitely open communication. Like with my partner and I, we don't necessarily go through the details of everybody that we're sleeping with, but at the same time, like, we go through the details that we need to know, just for like each other's health and everything, because that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what form, I'm thinking especially of, like Rand and Min and Avi and Elaine, what sort of form of polyamory they take on the show. Like what kind of, like how it looks basically on the show. It'll be interesting to see if it's more, I mean, bare minimum is that it's equal and there's no like, there's no lack of consent or like half-hearted consent or anything like that. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see those dynamics sort of on screen. I wonder what Rafe's sort of vision for them is.
Well, we're going to start with Avi and Elaine boning, that's for sure.
Yes. I mean, yeah.
I mean, so the interesting thing is in the books, it just is.
Right.
Yes.
Because it has to be.
Right.
Because the dragon is the chosen one, and that's just how it do. However, in the show, they're going to have to build that relationship organically. Which they're going to have to invent, because it can't be like the books where... I mean, I don't know why anybody is attracted to anybody in that relationship.
It's, I mean, out of all... Well, yeah, kind of. That's a good...
I'm like, it's just, why are you with these people other than... You're the chosen one. Like, do you guys like each other? Like, I guess you like each other. But is it enthusiastic or is it like, yeah, cool, this works?
Depends on if you're in a palace or an igloo, how enthusiastic it is.
Well, I mean, we all know Robert Jordan didn't do romance well, which is fine. But at the same time, like, with Lan and Nynaeve, I kind of get it. Like, it kind of, like, their personalities kind of work together.
Right.
With Rand, Avienda, Elaine, Min, I don't see it as much. So
I think like there's an argument to be made that you can see it really well with Rand and Min.
I would agree with that.
Same.
They have a very clear connection, that isn't as clear with the other two ladies between Rand. So hopefully they'll find a way to clarify that too. But also I would hope that they find a way to clarify the relationship between the ladies themselves, right? So maybe we can get Min and Avienda hanging out at some point. I don't know,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know when we last talked about this or if it was in our Discord or something, but when we were talking about how like Avienda was going on and on about Elaine's breasts and how beautiful she is and stuff.
She was waxing poetic about
I'm like, that is a perfect opportunity
It's true.
to introduce that. To just be like, for Rand to be like, wait, do you want to fuck her?
And Rand just be like, wait a second. Okay.
Like, he's way too doe-eyed and innocent even in the show for that, but at the same time, like, I want to see an outtake.
An outtake, yeah.
I want to see the blooper reel where Yosha is just like, you want that puss too?
Yeah.
Matt, the look of disgust on your face, you're just not here for it.
Well, because you keep saying it, James.
I actually don't remember what James just said because I tuned it out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so healthy. That's a good coping mechanism. A lot of my friends do that.
I disassociate when James starts talking.
Oh, thank you. You're such a sweetheart.
I am.
Other one I wanted to touch on a little bit, and then
Yes.
I mean, there's kitchen table poly where like everything's on the table, everyone is aware of everything and other relationships, and they all talk and reach out to each other and talk directly. Versus I'm trying to remember what it is. What is the opposite of that?
Is there a word for that? I can't think of any word specifically that means the opposite of kitchen table. But I don't think that most relationships necessarily require, everyone to be kind of like hanging out
right
at the bistro table together,
Right.
Yeah.
Or most dynamics like with multiple partners, That's a specific and special one. That's pretty cool if you can make that.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I have a friend that's in kitchen table polyamory, and it sounds like this weird magical utopian thing. And I am just, I guess maybe I'm not built for it, but yeah, it's basically just super open communication. Everyone talks to everybody, and I don't know if it's the goal, because I like different relationships with different people, but
right.
Yeah, I don't think it works for everyone, but if it works if you find people it works with, that's fucking awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, I think that's what's fascinating to me about polyamory is that like, and Will, I think you mentioned this before, that it's very much about like, you do what is right for you. Like there's no set rules or aside from like open communication, but like, you don't like, there's a lot of freedom in that. And not to say that there isn't, you can't find fulfillment in monogamy, because like as someone who is monogamous, it is something that I know is for me, but it's also like really delightful to know that there are people who like are living their best lives in like poly relationships. And it's really cool.
Yeah, it's cool. I think it's, I don't know. It's a pretty amazing thing, but also it's obviously tough. There's a lot more communication that's required.
A lot of calendars.
A lot of Google calendars.
Oh, Matt is completely...
I love it.
Matt is anti-calendar and anti... Like, it is so much to get him to commit to a set time for this.
I don't like calendars.
We have a calendar for the podcast with reminders for certain things, and I don't even know if Matt knows where it is.
I looked at the calendar today, thank you very much. I looked at the calendar to see what time we were, because it was for Will or Colin. I didn't want to miss the recording for him, because I was excited for it. But yeah, otherwise calendars, I mean, if calendars were I don't know, I'm very calendar phobic. I'm not scared of them. That's not what I mean by phobic. I mean that I would legislate against them. If they were like people.
If they were like people.
If calendars were a minority group, you would be anti that?
Probably. I mean...
Wow.
Oh my god. Not calendar bigotry, not this.
They're very restrictive.
Not this.
Do you know, like, my calendar is basically like my journal of what I did in my life. Like, I can tell you what I did based on my calendar, because if it's not there, then I'm not going to remember it.
That's fair, actually. I've used mine for that purpose before too, like the calendar. Like, what did I do and where did I go? Or
See, I just remember that
calendars are very helpful.
we have a separate Dick calendar, so like,
what is that like to just be able to remember things? Yeah.
Like I can remember like my dad came up to Minneapolis in late October of 2019, and we went to a French restaurant and had escargot, and I had duck with a lavender and honey sauce. It was so good.
Okay, but that's a memory. That's slightly different than dates. Like the fact that you knew it was September or October 2019, that's impressive to me.
That's true.
Because I would have been like, it was at least 1 year ago.
It was during the day.
During the day, I'm pretty sure.
It might have been fall. I remember trees.
Trees, maybe?
Yes, well. Anyway, yes, James can tell you whenever they try to schedule things with me in our friendship scheduling things, it is like trying to dunk a cat into water.
I get that. I really do.
It's painful.
Which is weird because like I'm a Capricorn, and aren't Capricorns like ruled by like structure and shit like that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Yeah. But we've talked about this though. Remember what your
wait, what's your big three?
What your moon is?
No, I don't.
You're a Gemini moon.
Oh yeah.
You got that free spirit, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Oh yeah.
Look, all I know is that I'm a Sagittarius, and Sagittarius are sluts. So.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah, I was going to say that.
Honestly, so when we first started talking about this, I kept talking about how, like, when I found out all of their sun signs especially, I was like, so much about you makes
sense.
So much sense.
I'm not a Sag. My Mars is in Sag, though, so.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. What's your sun?
Such a Sag.
Libra.
Oh, I'm a Libra rising.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
We love it.
Yeah. Love to see it.
So, should we mosey on?
Yeah. I mean, this episode has been all over the place, but
yeah.
In closing, I am very excited to see how they change the relationships in the show. Mm-hmm. I think the books were kind of male fantasy, but that's to be given because most of it is. So
well, and he also did his best. I think, like I really do think that with a lot of things that kind of don't hit the mark, that Jordan tried to do, I really do think his heart was in the right place. Like, I really do think he was genuinely trying to do something new that hadn't really been done or explored in fantasy.
Totally.
And sometimes it worked really well. And I think sometimes it kind of worked like unintentionally well. Like things just kind of worked together really well for him.
Mm-hmm.
But, some of it doesn't hit the mark. But I would like to believe that if he were alive today, he would do things differently. Like I think he would. Yeah, I think it would be different. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Totally.
No, I'm excited to see what this turning of the wheel has for everything, but a lot of polyamory. And Rafe has said that they're going to explore more of Maxim, Yvonne, and Alana in season 2. So I'm very excited to see what that looks like.
Yes,
totally.
Yeah. I'm bracing for them to break my heart, but I'm also very excited.
I'm just so excited for when Rand joins that. Like when Rand and they're like, I mean, the warders can't sense each other, but what if in the show they can? And then it's like Elaine or Birgitta and Elaine Rand situation.
Yeah, but Maxim's going to be gone by then.
He is. It's spoilers.
It's spoilers. Just so we can talk about everything.
It's spoilers, baby.
It is. I just don't want to talk about that.
They don't gotta kill him.
Oh, I see. It's just that you don't want to talk. You don't want to think about it. I see.
I think they do have to kill him. I feel like the whole point that part of the reason they're building this whole thing up is to like seed all these conversations and all these things that happen later in the series. That's the whole point of that relationship and making it more prominent. Polyamory being one of those things, but also we use them to kind of talk about the warder relationship, the warder bond between the Aes Sedai, and kind of like how all that shit plays out. So
yeah,
Maxim's got to go, yo.
I know
it's gonna hurt.
I know. It's gonna suck. Like I mean, episode 5 was basically a gigantic, wonderful episode of foreshadowing. Like there was so much foreshadowing, and it stressed me out in a good way because I was like, oh god, okay, they're setting up Alana and Rand and all of this stuff and Maxim, and I can't wait.
It's gonna be a lot.
It's gonna be a lot, but it's gonna be great.
Okay, so let's move on to our game, which I have created specifically for this episode, which was it's going to be maybe a little bit much.
Shocking.
Hey, look, this is what happens when I'm in charge.
I know.
Uh-huh.
I know.
Oh, shut the fuck up. But yeah, so we're going to play Prophecy Mad Libs. So I am going to go through and ask you guys for words, and you are going to give me words.
Oh, no.
And then I will read it aloud for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
There are quite a few, so we'll go through relatively quickly. First, I want you all to give me a group of people.
I said I.
I said I.
Okay. And then an adjective ending in ED.
Stilled. Is that dark?
Yeah, stilled. No, stilled.
It's already there. It's already there.
Stilled.
A verb?
Fuck.
Of course, yep. A part of the body.
Dick.
I knew it. Oh, God.
A location.
Pussy. Sorry.
No, that's not.
No, let's go an actual, physical location.
Okay, how about Trimble King?
Ooh.
There you go.
Okay.
God damn it.
Oh, I'm already looking at this and I'm not happy.
Oh, no.
Another group of people.
I yield.
Yeah, I yield.
Verb.
Channeling.
Channeling.
Another group of people.
Gaze.
Another verb.
Wanking.
And another verb ending in ing.
Plotting.
Healing. Oh.
I'll do the next verb ending in ing as healing.
Okay.
I feel like that's what we need right now.
An activity.
Fucking.
No, we already did fucking.
Did we? Shit.
How about a circle jerk instead?
Oh my God. No, we already did. We already did fucking. How about circle jerk?
Okay, let's go G-rated. How about knitting?
I didn't say it was a bad thing.
Can I have another verb ending in en?
En.
En.
Uh-oh.
Just give me a verb and I'll make it a...
Smitten.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah.
Size.
Massive. Is that a size?
Yeah.
Okay.
Noun.
Green.
There you go.
Time of day.
Wait, green isn't a noun.
Noon.
No, it's not, you dumbass writer.
Look, I'm a writer, not a speaker, you stupid shit.
Okay, wait.
I'm just trying to get through these quickly.
Writer is a noun.
Writer is a noun. There you go. There you go.
Time of day.
Noon.
There we go.
A title.
Queen.
Dragon.
Mahale.
Popular book.
The Bible.
Okay. Okay.
Your Catholic upbringing is gonna...
No, not Catholic. Baptist.
Baptist upbringing, I'm sorry.
Baptist. I mean, it's essentially at the end of the day, it's the same feeling, so.
It's praise Jesus. Wait, no. Catholic isn't praise Jesus. Never mind. Plural body part.
Hemorrhoids.
Arms.
Toes. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Oh, God.
Oh, I didn't like that one. Verb?
Sorry, to be clear, you said hemorrhoids?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
All right. Verb?
Puncture.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay. A location?
Camelin.
Hmm.
Is that a location?
Yeah.
Is that what that means?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
These don't have to be Wheel of Time related, but they
Oh,
can be.
I thought that's what we were doing.
Oh, no, I mean, you can be whatever you want. A verb?
Tweeting. Tweet.
Sensation.
Moist.
Warm. Oof.
Moist is not a sensation.
Tingle.
Tingle. I would argue that it is, but we'll just go with tingle.
A deity.
Demeter.
Oh, that's good.
All right, we're heading to the last ones. An activity.
Human sacrifice.
Okay. That is an activity.
Another activity? No, not as a replacement. This is just another follow-up activity.
Okay. Sleeping? Does that count as an activity?
Sure.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Sleeping? Okay.
Yeah.
A type of fabric.
Silk.
Ooh.
Yeah, silk's good.
Mm-hmm.
A dry substance.
Sugar.
Salt. We'll go with sugar.
Place name?
Like a proper name?
Yeah.
The White House.
Oh no.
That one's good.
Mm.
A verb and that was going to be healing. Oh no, we did.
I am horrified to hear the result of this.
Another verb ending in ing.
Jumping.
Ooh, that's good.
A noun.
Cat.
A verb.
Squirt.
A major world event.
The death of Queen Elizabeth II.
Oh, fuck.
I don't know if I can read this, but we're gonna. And because I wanted to save the great ones for last, a bodily fluid.
Oh, pus.
There you go.
Another bodily fluid.
Come.
Oh, cat. That's gross.
Another location.
Okay.
The Burj Khalifa.
The what?
The what?
The Burj Khalifa. The tower. It's a tower in Dubai. Say Dubai.
Oh.
I love all of us uncultured. We're just like,
I know. I'm just here like, what is that? I don't know that from Tarvalon. And then verb. Last one, verb.
okay. Running, run.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. This is. Okay.
Do you want me to read it instead?
Oh no. No. Actually, maybe.
Uh-oh. Is it that good? Or that
It
bad?
is pretty good, and Matt is
Okay.
like.
I can do a dramatic reading.
I was going to say, Matt would be very good at a dramatic reading of this. I feel like this is going to be a lot. A lot.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Substantial.
This is the vibe I'm getting right now, that it's going to be a lot.
All right. Are we ready?
Yes.
No.
Do it.
I know it's coming in no.
Do it. Uh-oh.
Okay. And it shall come to pass that what Aes Sedai made shall be stilled, and the shadow shall fuck across the pattern of age, and the Dark One shall once more lay his dick upon the Trimmel King of Aes Sedai. Aiel shall channel and gaze wank as the nations of the earth are rent like plodding cloth. Neither shall anything circle jerk nor abide. The shadow shall rise across the Trimmel King and smitten every land, even to the massivest corner, and there shall be neither light nor rider. And he who shall be born of the noon, born of the queen, according to the Bible, he shall stretch forth his hemorrhoids to puncture the shadow. And Camelin shall tweet in the tingle of salvation. All glory be to Demeter, to thee, Demeter, and to the light, and to he who shall be born again. May the light save us from him. Yet one shall be human sacrifice to face the shadow, sleep once more as he was slept before, and shall be sleep again, time without end. The dragon shall be reborn, and there shall be healing and gnashing of teeth at his re-sleep. In silk and sugar shall he clothe the people, and he shall break the White House again by his coming, jumping apart all ties that bind. Like the unfettered cat shall he blind us and burn us. Yet shall the dragon reborn squirt the shadow at the death of Queen Elizabeth II, and his pus shall give us the light. Let come flow, O ye people of Dubai. Run for your salvation.
Wow. Oh, Jesus.
I did that with a straight face.
Yet shall the dragon reborn squirt the shadow at the death of Queen Elizabeth II.
Yeah.
Wow.
Perfect.
And his pus shall give us the light.
Perfection.
I was a fan of the snipping the hemorrhoids or extending it or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
That was good.
Was it puncturing the hemorrhoids? Something?
I'm sure Camille's going to be mad at me for yelling into the mic.
That's fine. Wow. And he shall be born of the noon, born to the queen, according to the Bible. He shall stretch forth his hemorrhoids to puncture the shadow.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
All glory be to the Demeter.
Wow.
Okay.
A whole mess.
I'd be afraid of the dragon too. If all that was going to happen, I'd be afraid of the dragon.
I mean, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, some of that is like probably better than what was actually going to happen. So
Probably.
like, I didn't hear any mention of like people like mass murder and shit that happened.
That's true. That's true.
Just break the White House by his coming.
Not a murder.
Just masturbation.
Yeah. Which, you know, that's healthy.
I don't know about that. Makes hair grow on your palms.
I have regrets about that.
Well, you made it up, so I don't know what you expected.
I don't know what you expected from it, but it's a good idea for future games.
I like it. We should definitely do this again.
That was good.
Yeah. James is like, I don't know. I don't.
Let come flow, O ye people of the Dubai.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Queers of Time podcast. If you liked our show, please give us a review on Apple Podcast. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Queers of Time and our Discord server.
Also, now is a good time to mention, Will, where can people find you?
Oh.
If they want to follow you.
Oh, you can find me on Twitter at Will_Alcine or at Rainland. That too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're able, we would love to have your support through Patreon to help us cover the cost of making the podcast. We post a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that's exclusive there, and every patron gets a super gay holographic sticker. And Will, I will also send you a super gay holographic sticker.
Yeah!
Yay.
They're so pretty.
They are really pretty.
I'm excited.
Thank you all for listening. This was Queers of Time, a Wheel of Time podcast. The music is Dance of the Witches by Julius H.